Hi friends, today we're going to talk about the 3 power laws of health. We are going to accomplish in the next 5 minutes the basic health habits that are going to make you feel the best you've ever done. I'm not going to get into the scientific details, I'm just going to tell you what to do and you're going to do them because you know what? You know they work. Let's start. Number 1, you're going to reframe your identity that you are a professional sleeper. That means you're not going to sleep when it's convenient or when your show is done or when you're finished playing with your friends. You are going to set a bedtime and meet that bedtime every single day, and you're gonna follow some health habits. So there's 5 things I want you to do. Number 1 is eat earlier and lighter in the day. So for example, if your bedtime's at 10 p.m., have your last meal of the day at 8 p.m., and then try 7, and then 6, and then 5, and try pushing it back earlier and earlier and watch your sleep improve. Find your right timing, but you will learn that the earlier and lighter you eat, the better you will sleep. Number 2 is you need to have a wind down routine, which means your body needs to be physically ready to sleep. You can't just work up until the last minute, lay your head on the pillow and expect great sleep. The body needs to adjust itself from an aroused, high energy, ambitious state, whether you're socializing or working, to a calm down, ready to sleep space. Now you can fill this hour, where your wind down routine is gonna be 1 hour from your bedtime. You can fill it with breath work, meditation, reading a book, going for a walk, but you need to be in a relaxed, calm state, screens off, getting your body ready. Number 3 is the lighting in your environment matters a lot. So turn off screens. I have a red light bulb in my house and a lamp. We just have red light in the house. It's amazingly effective at calming things down and making everyone very tired. Number 4 is consistency matters a lot. Your body loves routine. So if your bedtime's at 10 p.m., try to be in bed every night plus or minus 30 minutes, no more. When you deviate, the body gets confused and you're not going to have as good a sleep. Number 5 is avoid stimulants, for example, like caffeine. So if you go to bed at 10, be mindful, you may want to have your last cup of coffee before noon or so. So by the time your bedtime arrives, you're good to go. All right, so this is the first one. This is the most important one. Sleep is your number 1 life priority. When you feel well, you're gonna want to also exercise, which you also know from life experience. When you exercise, you feel great. So now you're going to start an exercise protocol if you haven't already, and you're going to do 2 simple things. Every day, do 30 minutes of exercise. And that can be something like swimming, running, biking, hiking. It could be strength training. That's a basic starting point. Now, of course, we'll jump into more advanced things in other videos, but it's really establishing the basics. And then 2 is you want to be moving throughout the day. So for example, every 20, 30 minutes or so, I get up from my desk, whether I'm standing or sitting, I'll stretch or I'll do a little exercise, I'll go for a little walk, but moving throughout the day. There's an infinite rabbit hole on what to do for exercise, and that's great, and we're going to cover it, yes. Also, the daily practice of being active in both an activity and throughout the day is the power law of activity. All right, number 3 is diet. Now this is the most complicated of them all because I guess I speak from personal experience, is food is a place we go to self-soothe, and it's also a source of addiction and all sorts of emotional problems. I have been there and I know how complicated food is. I was trapped. And so the reason why it's number 3 is because if you're well rested and you exercise, we all know the feeling we have of wanting to eat well. So it's nice to have those 2 pillars in place versus if you're not well rested and you're not exercised, it's so much easier to be naughty. Number 1 is try to never rely upon your willpower. So if you have a particular risk zone, let's just say it's 7 p.m. that's exposed to, let's just call it cookies. Decide you are a person that does not eat cookies at 7 p.m. because if you wait to make the decision at that moment, you will certainly eat the cookie. Now, if that was true for me. So never put yourself in a situation where you're relying upon your willpower. Build systems and make commitments ahead of time. Okay, now number 2 is trying to avoid overeating. Now, I'll tell you from my personal experience, this is impossibly hard to do. Of course, any one of us can say it, but we all know that like we just can't control ourselves in those moments. So I did something where I fired evening Bryan. This is the version of me from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. who would unquestionably overeat no matter what every single day. I had to fire him. I had to basically make a rule of my existence that I, as a human, do not consume food between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. no matter what I say. That's the kind of extreme I had to go to control my overeating habits. Now, I think a lot of us probably share similar behavioral profiles. So this solution may not work for you, but the point is, this is a struggle. It's real. And so the invitation is for each one of us to try to find a system. For me, it was just saying, I never trust myself to make the right decision in that moment. And so systems far exceed willpower. In addition to avoiding bad foods, also, I want you to avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. Okay, number 3 is a Mediterranean-like diet. You want to try to have, healthy fats, healthy proteins. Trying to generally be on the right track is good enough. You don't need to wrestle over every calorie and every macro. It's just, there's diminishing return. We live in a society where health is impossibly hard. Controlling our own personal behaviors is impossibly hard. Now, I know I have felt hopeless and helpless my entire life in this regard, just until the past few years where I actually have the systems. Now, in this video, I don't expect this to solve things for you. In fact, you know what, tonight, or maybe right now, during this video, maybe you're eating junk food. That's okay, I understand. The point is, we're building a community, we're trying to change the norms, where being healthy is the right way to live. You're not going to feel pressure to do these self-destructive behaviors. And there's power in you and me making these very small decisions. So if it helps you, in your moment of torment, when you're sitting there deciding, do you do it or do you not, do it for the team. Do it for all of us, because if you do it, others will do it. And we know this, when we cave, we weaken the entire system. Wherever you're at, no matter what your circumstances are, we can do this. These health habits will make you the happiest, healthiest person you've ever been. Let's first master the basics, and then we get to play with all the cool new things we'll discover together. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it.